Good evening and welcome. Tonight we will be going over the history and geography of Batman in Turkey. Now let's get rid of the obvious. Yes, this region is named Batman. Batman, Batman. One of the funny geography jokes about the world is, did you know in Turkey there's a town called Batman? Wahaha, so funny. But yeah, it's called Batman. I'm pronouncing it Batman because I'm pretty sure that's how they pronounce it there, and I really don't want to be saying Batman through the whole thing. It doesn't feel right coming out of my mouth. Not to mention, okay, spicy topic, Batman's like my least favorite superhero. He's fine. The movies are good. I'm not a Batman fan. I like Wonder Woman more than Batman, to be honest. But that's neither here nor there. I mean, to be a superhero, don't you need a superpower? And being rich is not a super. We're not getting into that debate tonight. Anyway, Batman. So why is it called Batman? Why is it called Batman? The name comes from the nearby mountains. It is the Bati Rahman Mountains. Bati Rahman. Batman. There's the name's been shortened down to Batman. There's the Batman River that flows through here. This town was actually known as Illa until 1957, when they just gave it the name of the river and called it Batman. But yeah, it is a funny joke in English. I wonder if in Turkey, I know I have so many Turkish viewers. Do let me know. The Batman superhero, do they call him Batman and it's spelled the same way? Let me know. Or does he have like a Turkish name? I don't know. But yeah. So yes, the Batman River and the Batman Mountains can be found in this area. Also, I think the coolest geographic feature is that the Tigris River flows through here. You really think the Tigris River being associated with Mesopotamia and Iraq, but Iraq is literally right here. It's very nearby. So yeah, the Tigris flows through this region on its way down to Mesopotamia. This region in particular has a very large Kurdish population. If you don't know the Kurds, and I wonder if this fact is still true, I read it like 4 years ago. I wonder if it's still true, but the Kurds are the largest ethnicity without a homeland. And I don't know, when I think of like Kurdistan, I also think of northern Iraq because I think of this area being Kurdistan. But let me show you this other map in my atlas. I gotta flip to it. Enjoy some page sounds while I get to my map of Iraq here. It's right here, yeah. So like here's Iraq, right? And you can see up here, I hope you can see, Kurdistan, Kurdistan, stretches across this region of Turkey, Syria, and Iraq. Mostly Iraq, but you can see Batman is right there. So it's right technically within Kurdistan, which I never thought of before. I don't usually associate Kurdistan with Turkey, but I gotta change my perceptions about southern Turkey, I suppose. Carefully bring this back. Okay. I accidentally tore a page. One in Indonesia, one in Italy. I'm not about to tear a page here. There's too much happening on this page to ruin it. But yes, very large Kurdish population in this area and in this town here. The first inhabitants would have lived here in about the 7th century BCE, and there were, of course, many different peoples, empires, kingdoms that ruled over this part of Turkey and Anatolia. Far too many to mention. It was a lot. Anatolia was fought over a lot. Gosh, we had the Medes, the Lydians, the Persians, of course, very famously. We're going to skip to the Byzantines. Because, and unfortunately it's not on my map. It drives me crazy. It's This is like the most important town in this region. It's not on my map. The Byzantines built a garrison town along the Tigris, which is now called Hasankeyf. It's gone through many different names, but that's its name currently in Turkish, Hasankeyf. That's going to come up later in history, so remember that. The town that's now called Batman was a Silk Road stopover town for a long time. And this corner, I guess, this little neglected corner, Armenia is over there, Damascus is down there, all the stuff happening in Turkey's happening way over there by the Mediterranean and the Black Sea. Not much going on in this corner of the world. So it was really neglected for quite a long time. And it had a very large population of various minorities. And my theory is that it had this population because this area was so neglected by so many powers. You've got all the Turks and Ottomans fighting over there, and so much happening in Turkish history. It's bonkers how much history Turkey has. It's wonderful. But not a lot happening here. So I think a lot of minorities congregated in this town, in this region in particular, to escape all of the drama, right? There is a large Jewish population. There is a large Christian population. There is a Greek population. There's, of course, a Kurdish population. And there was an Assyrian population, because also Syria. It's literally right here. So a very large population of minorities, and that would really come to a head during World War I, during a period that in the Syrian culture they call the Sefo, which I have to be careful with my wording because YouTube does not like this word. It starts with a G and ends in a side. Also, Turkish viewers, if you want to disagree with me on whether or not it happened, I guess pop off, I suppose. I'm probably going to delete your comment if you're very rude. So have at it, I suppose. I'll just delete it. But a lot going on in this corner of Turkey during World War I involving minorities. And we're not going to get into the graphic details so YouTube does not demonetize this video. But the Sefo was targeting the Assyrian population here, and it was just as bad as what was happening to the Armenians. Also, Armenians, if you're going to comment anything mean about Turkish people, I'm going to delete that too. I don't allow hate toward anyone on my channel. But with that being said, this very devastating time, many of the minorities at this time cleared out, especially the Greeks after World War I. That's a whole other issue. Greeks, be nice in the comments. I don't think I've ever had a mean Greek in the comments, actually. So, if you want to be the first one, I'm kidding. Don't leave me in comments. I'm just gonna delete them. Anyway, ethnic conflict with the Kurdish population didn't start up until the 1990s, actually. I guess they're wearing out their welcome as a population of Turks started to come into this region. And why was there a population of Turks coming into the region? Well, that is another fact that I skipped over in geography so that I wouldn't bring it up then. I wanted to bring it up now, and that is oil. You can see little oil wells here on my map. There is the Bati Rahman oil field out here that was discovered in the very early 1940s and is a huge economic boom to this region. It's not, it's no Abu Dhabi, it's no Saudi Arabia, it's not like that, but much more economically wealthy than it ever has been in its entire history. And that's still ongoing to this day. That's still very big profits for Turkey. I told you I'd bring up Hasankeyf again along the Tigris River. So in the late 2019s, Turkey said, hey, we need to dam this river. And if that happened, the town of Hasankeyf is going to flood. And the people here obviously freaked out because they still lived there. And there were ancient castles, ancient tombs, ancient mosques. It had a long history, like I said, dating back to the Byzantine Empire. There were still Byzantine relics there. And they said, you're just going to flood it? And Turkey's like, yup. I guess Erdogan is like, yup. So many international movements came in and were like, oh, we'll do like what happened in Egypt with Aswan. We'll help you relocate all of them. And you have to relocate the people. They have to have a place to go. And Turkey's like, well, of course we're going to do that. But everything else, nah, just let it flood. And in 2020, that's what they did. All of that history is underwater. There's only like two places. One is a castle, one is a tomb that did not get flooded. That was high enough that it didn't flood. And everything else is currently under the Tigris River today. Which, how sad is that? They made no attempt to preserve the history of that town. UNESCO was trying to frantically make it a UNESCO site to stop it, and Turkey was like, nah, just flood it. Devastating. Maybe that's why it's not on the map anymore. They did rebuild a new Hasankeyf. I'll show it to you on Google Earth in a minute. But how sad is that? Gosh, a town that was established probably like year, like 200, no more. So, that being said, let's head over to the tablet. We're going to check out that town and we're going to see what else we can find in this province. Let's go check it out. Here we are in Batman province. Let's zoom out a bit so you can see exactly where we are. I know we touched on what countries we were nearby, but let's see it on the bigger scale. So here is Turkey. You can see Anatolia is this huge region here. We've got Syria and Iraq just down there. You can see big old Lake Van right there. We've got the Caucasus region up here, the Black Sea, Mediterranean, Caspian. Batman's right there. You can see the Syrian desert. Not too far off, to be honest. But this region isn't deserty at all. It's quite lush, in fact, as you can see from above. So here's the town of Batman. I don't think I found anything too notable to show you. Let's just look at the town slideshow. Just like yesterday's video, a lot of tourist sites I read was like, yeah, there's not much to do here. There's no amazing sight to see. Some lovely statues there, although this one's a little eerie. I don't know how I feel about that one. Apparently the biggest thing to do, that's a spoiler for later, the biggest thing to do is to take pictures near signs that say Batman and be like, wow, look, it says Batman. Ha ha ha. That's apparently it. But it's a nice little town, beautiful sunset there. Looks very European, doesn't it? Looks like a big mosque right there. And all lit up for the holidays, probably. So yeah, that is Batman. And yes, it's a big old joke. You can go to the Batman Hospital, take a flight to the Batman Airport. There's Batman University here. You can go and go ha 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 all over town. I say that, but I say that like I act like I didn't do that in England when I went to Rye and of course Bath, and I went to a town called Beer and we saw the beer police and beer church. Like, I act like I've never done that before. I definitely have. Anyway, let's check out Hasankeyf down here. So you can see this new town, right? Look how like uniform it is. That's because it was built in a hurry. It looks nothing like a Turkish town. This is all that's left over here. We can see this old castle here. It managed to survive the floodwaters. Yeah, so much is currently underwater. And it's like, I'm not anti-dam. Dams are very important. But at what cost, So much is lost. This is all that we pretty much have left of this very old town. Definitely the oldest town in the region, unless I didn't finish my research, from what I could tell. But yeah, that's all that survives of this big ancient town. There is another tomb over here. Hi, kitten. It's pretty and old. I'm sure once upon a time it was probably all turquoise and beautiful, right? not preserved anymore. I wonder what it is about the government that's just like, oh, we got to preserve all of these, but not this. Why was this town so neglected in its historical preservation? There's so much. The history of this town, I was reading buckets and buckets, and I was like, listen, I can't. It's too much history. Oh, cool old ship there. Way too much history to read about. All of the different conquests. The Mongols took over this area for a hot minute. All the different empires that reigned from here. Like, it's pretty remarkable, and it's all gone. Pretty devastating, isn't it? Who was it? Someone commented, I think it was my Ivory Coast video. They said, now I know what a man-made lake looks like. And yeah, you can tell because if an area's been dammed, because you see these kind of like brain stem little squiggles in the mountains here. And that is because this valley was mountainous and it filled up with water real quick and just filtered in, like you see the mountains here, all the squiggles. It filtered in through all the squiggles. So yeah, you can tell if an area has been dammed up if you see squiggles like that. Let's do an experiment. Let's go see some famous dammed lakes. Let's go see Aswan. We already looked at Aswan on this channel. But you can see the squiggles, right? What else? Lake Volta is over here in Ghana. You see the squiggles? All the little brain stems there. Lake Mead. We're not going to go look at Lake Mead. But yeah, let's look at Lake Vaughan. This is a very natural lake, and you see how smooth it is. I mean, you've got various squiggles, but for the most part, not very squiggly, right? What's another big lake up here in Armenia? No squiggles, right? That's how you can tell if a body of water has been created by mankind or created by Mother Nature. I always say Mother Nature doesn't make straight lines. Mother Nature doesn't make a lot of squiggles either. I suppose you see all the squiggles there. That came from it being dammed up. Alright, let's look at one more thing before we go. Let's find a random town. See all this green up here? I tried looking for oil fields, but Google Earth doesn't like showing a lot of oil fields. I think I found some, but it was very unremarkable. To be honest, it was like, well, there's a big oil pump. Cool. Let's find a little town up here to look at. Here's Kamishli. Let's check it out. Oh, there's only 4 pictures, but look. Oh, how pretty. Oh, how green. And a nice road. Let's find... How about this town? Has no pictures. Oh, I'm in the wrong... Oh, no, I'm in Batman province. Oh, that scared me. We're in the Kosluk district. Let's look closer to the town. You can see the Batman River there. You could take a picture by the Batman River. Just look at this town. There we go. Oh, only 3 pictures here too. Oh, what's that? Apricots or peaches? Some kind of pitted looking fruit. Well, let's find a place in town then to look at. I guess we'll check out a park. Maybe it has pictures. Of course, it's the Ataturk Park. Everything has to be named after Ataturk. Some kind of Ataturk themed statue there. Looks like they're pumping water. Interesting. I bet there's a story behind that, but I'm sure it says it there in Turkish, and it's way too small for me to even translate. But that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Love Batman. If you enjoy this style of content, please consider subscribing. Next, we're going to head over... I don't like this statue. I don't like it. Next, we're going to head over to Algeria, where we're going to see a fantastic UNESCO site. Very famous UNESCO site in Algeria. I'm so excited to show it to you on Google Earth. There's no pictures of it on UNESCO's website. There's one. It's fine, but we're going to play on Google Earth like this in the best preserved Roman town in the world. So you're going to want to subscribe so you won't miss out. If you learned something new tonight, give this video a thumbs up. And let me know what you learned down in the comments. Tell me who your favorite superhero is and why it's not Batman. No, I'm kidding. Tell me if it's Batman. I know Batman defenders are very aggressively pro-Batman, but I'm just like, he's just rich. That's not a superhero. He's just a hero. I'm not saying he's a terrible hero. I'm just saying he's not a superhero. He has no superpowers. You have to have superpowers to be a superhero. Anyway, I hope that you found this video to be relaxing and educational, and I hope that you have a good night. Good night. Good night. Kitten says good night too. He's crying at my door. Good night. Good night. Good night.